Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir. RoadToRoad.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. All right, still waiting on word from Steve St. Angelo. His SRS Rocco Twitter. I guess he's on Twitter a lot because he's posted like 10 postings about attacking me. He's attacking a lot of people, don't get me wrong. I'm not the only one, but of course I'm going to defend myself, and I'm just waiting on him. We've got a debate ready. Pacific Palisades is going to moderate. Just waiting on him. That's all. So, but he keeps posting. He's got like 10 posts up. I'd love to debate Steve on anything related to gold manipulation, especially Grand Canyon. I've got 10 years of research. I don't know what he's got that I don't have, so I'm looking forward to that. But don't forget, he threw down his what he says, it's time to take the gloves off. Unfortunately, the precious metal community has done more to harm investors than educating them about gold and silver. I heard Bob Coleman say something similar, that all these conspiracy theories are not good for the industry. You should listen to guys like Steve St. Angelo and Jeffrey Christian. I can't think of worse people to listen to. Truthfully, that's the reason we're in this situation right now, is that the mining companies and the official analysts of silver have missed the silver manipulation thing for 100 years. And I called them useless 10 years ago, and they kicked me out of the Silver Summit. I'm calling them useless now. Without first discussing and addressing and understanding silver manipulation, there's nothing to comment on silver. It doesn't matter about supply or demand or the U.S. government or the debt or inflation. Nothing matters when it comes to silver prices except computers and derivatives. That's it. It's pure manipulation, 100%. Ted Butler has been proving it for 40 years. And yet the mainstream analysts can't get their head around what manipulation is, why silver's trading at less than 50% of its all-time high from 1980. So anyway, bring it. Steve St. Angelo, say yes. I gave I think 3 days next week that I'm available to discuss this stuff. And it doesn't have to be contentious, although he seems to be angry. He's an angry elf. He's going after Rob Keents now too. Let's just talk this out. And I would love any information on the Grand Canyon gold that I don't have and you have, or any analysis. I would love to hear it, because everything I've seen you post is easily shot down. And I will do that. Just let's get on a debate. If you want to debate the Road to Root of Theory, if you want to debate the cartoon, the comic book, bring it. I would love to talk about it. So Steve says he's gonna accept, and has called me out and said Bix would never do that on his Twitter, but I'm telling everybody, yeah, let's do it. So Steve, contact me, Bix at roadtoroot.com, and we'll get this going as soon as possible. All right. Great discussion about silver manipulation. Oh no, Steve St. Angelo, look out. Go hide your head in the sand. By David Morgan and John Perez. They've been doing great work on crypto. The only thing I disagree with John on crypto is, yes, I absolutely agree, all the conspiracy stuff with Tether and all that. Yeah, I've been actually, I can't even speak to a lot of that anymore because I got a cease and desist letter. But I agree 100%. The only thing we disagree on is I'm a hodler. So I'm not going to sell my cryptos, try to wait for this shit to go away, because I know cryptos are the future. I don't know which ones will survive a collapse in the monetary system, but I don't care. I'm hanging on to them for the future of business and the future of interaction between people. Partially the future of money too. I think there is some very good things that can come with the marrying of the blockchain and gold and silver. And I think that's what David Ryder was trying to do at the U.S. Mint. When he put the little notch in the bottom, you can easily put a micro QR code. There's this stuff called diamond dust you can use for that. and put a blockchain identifier on the bottom of every gold and silver eagle. That way you can store them at a vault at probably the U.S. Post Office is my guess, because they're already set up. Remember, there'll be no banks when the banks go down. Maybe the post office will take over those banking buildings with the big vaults. I don't know. But yeah, there's absolutely potential for marriage of that. Go to the Morgan report. Great discussion. But it's about the Comex. And the Comex isn't reporting the COT numbers. They've had a hack or a problem, a computer problem, and they aren't. So they say. I don't believe them. I think the COT numbers the commitment of traders numbers would reveal what's really going on is that the banks are getting out of their silver position, the silver short position, as fast as possible. That is why on the quarterly reports for the derivatives, now this is not Comex. So the Comex cover-up is separate and something that they deal with in this discussion. Again, it's called Silver PSYOP, Comex Apocalypse, the Russian factor. The Russian factor is he's saying that he thinks a marker when this silver blastoff might take off, or silver drama, shall we call it, is when Putin invades on full scale on the Ukraine for, I think it's the 21st, is he's making some announcement. So he's putting that out there as kind of a marker of potentiality of when silver might go crazy. I think it could go crazy every day. I think the end time when the good guys have a chance to take the silver riggers out would be September 20, I think it's the 29th of September, which is the end of the JP Morgan deferred prosecution agreement. And then JP Morgan can continue visibly rigging the silver market, but I don't think they can do it. Right now they're doing it through their customers, as we have seen right here. So JP Morgan, through their customers, not through their own account, is doing most of the issuing of all the physical silver because there's not much left anywhere. And look who's taking it, Bank of America. How many times have we talked about the JP Morgan Bank of America lease of over 1 billion ounces of silver? I think Ted Butler is absolutely true. He's tracked all those inventories, and we've tracked the derivatives at the Road to Ruta, and the people within JP Morgan that they stuck in certain places within government. And if this doesn't make any sense to you, all we have to do is look at the quarterly reports. So it was right at the end of 2020-21 that that silver, that leased silver, had to be paid back or closed out. So it would show up on the derivative side of the book that Bank of America would have a huge fall off in their silver derivatives. And as you can see, all the way up till when the data was starting to be hid in the beginning of 2022, it was rising dramatically. And then all of a sudden, in 2022, this guy, Greg Coleman, who's the senior deputy controller for large bank supervision at the OCC, the Office of Comptroller of Currency, is a JP Morgan man. JP Morgan has specific people in specific places to do specific things. Jamie calls them his SWAT team. SWAT team. Remember, he put Bill Daley as Obama's chief of staff during the 2011 silver drive-by shooting that everybody knows about. Who's that old? I mean, God, it's over 10 years now. I was in the middle of that shit. I was analyzing it, saying, oh my God, look out. JP Morgan's going to do something because Bill Daley's Obama's chief of staff. And lo and behold, we had a rise from $20 to $50. And then the artificial bear market in silver started with the slam down from $50. That was all Bill Daley and Jamie Dimon. Now Greg Coleman is Jamie Dimon's man. And what he's doing is hiding the closing out of the Bank of America's silver derivative position. But you can see it, even with the gold data. I mean, it is dropping like a rock. And I think by the end of this quarter, it should be probably evened out. So we're looking now. This goes back to third quarter. So fourth quarter is going to be way down here, and then ultimately end up down here with a combination of a manageable, shall we say, manageable derivative position in silver, lumped together with a manageable derivative position in gold. And all of this was facilitated by not only Greg Coleman, but the CFTC, Rustin Benham, through the JP Morgan commissioner, Kristen Johnson. And I couldn't remember her name, so I went to the CFTC website to look at the commissioners, and I kind of remembered her name. So I looked up her bio, and I'm like, wait a minute, it doesn't say JP Morgan anywhere on here. I thought she worked for JP Morgan. And it said it in here, she worked for JP Morgan, but now they changed it. I went down a little bit, and they say, let's see here. Prior to joining the commission, she held endowed professorship at Emory University, Tulane University Law Schools, visiting professorships at prestigious law schools around the nation. She taught courses, blah, 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 blah. She is an elected member of the American Law Institute and a American Bar Fellow, a Foundation Fellow, and a chair of the Securities Regulations section and the Executive Committee of the Business Associations and Financial Institutions and Consumer Services sections of the Association of American Law Schools. So everything about law, but where was it? Where was it that I saw that she is JP Morgan? I kept looking and looking. It's like, here it is. Commissioner Johnson served as vice president and assistant general counsel in the Treasury Services Division of one of the largest institutions in the world, supporting private funds and cash management services. That's JP Morgan. They took out JP Morgan. It was there. I remember reading it. I can go back in videos where I was talking about it. They took out the name JP Morgan and replaced it with one of the largest financial institutions. Why? Because everybody knows JP Morgan's the big commodity rigger. So I kept looking. It wasn't hard to find. Senate unanimously confirms Kristen Johnson as CFTC commissioner. Went down, and where it is. Oh, here it is. Before entering academia, she served as corporate associate in mergers and acquisitions and capital markets practice groups at Simpson Thacher, and later served as vice president and assistant general counsel at JP Morgan Chase. Of course she is, but she took it out. Good old Kristen Johnson hiding the truth just like everybody else does. It's embarrassing. Checked on Ventress Gibson over there at the Mint. Seeing if she's awake. Hello, Ventress. Hello. 450,000 ounces made in February. They are allowed to do 2 weeks of that. 2 weeks, a total of 450,000 ounces that they're going to sell to the public. So by the end of the month, that'll be 900,000 ounces. Completely illegal, completely against any kind of resemblance of free market. Remember, the U.S. Silver Eagle used to be the number one most popular coin in the world. Over the past, I would take out David Ryder's stint at the Mint because he produced quite a few of them. But over the past 7 years, they've been putting them on allocation, slowly distributing them, stopping production. Now they've stopped production in November and December. It's embarrassing. It's completely illegal. No matter what Janet Yellen, who's the ultimate decider, says and believes, she is obligated by law to instruct the Mint to create coins to meet demand. Now, she's the one who decides whether or not the coins are meeting public demand. I can ask every single person in the industry, even Jeffrey Christian, whether or not the Mint production is meeting demand. Even Jeffrey Christian will say, no, they aren't, obviously, and the premiums are off the charts. A lot of people said, no, Bix, you don't understand. That's the authorized dealers are the ones jacking up the prices. They're jacking up the prices because they can't get the coins. They're not going to sell them at cheap premiums. They're capitalists like everybody else. If Ventress Gibson was making 47 million coins a year like they can, actually she expanded that, then the premiums on Silver Eagles would be $2-3, as they were for years. But because they aren't making Silver Eagles in quantities to meet demand, the authorized distributors are going to charge $7-8 over spot. And that gets to the dealers, and then the retail dealers are going to bump that up. So you're going to pay over $30 for a Silver Eagle that you should be buying at $24-25. The most popular coin in the world is being destroyed by Ventress Gibson, the head of the Mint, and as per instructed by Janet Yellen. I don't know if I told you guys the story if you've been listening to Road to Ruta for long enough. I've met Janet Yellen when I was a banker back in the early 2000s, late 99s. She gave a talk at this rich financial club in San Francisco. There's only 20 people in there. I was one of the people in there. Buddy invited me because he knew I was interested in this stuff. I didn't know. And I was like, oh, real cool. She was the head of the Fed San Francisco at the time. And, I get to talk with, a really smart person when it comes to money. And she proceeded to tell these rich people to invest all your money in China. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Janet? She's a mouthpiece for people who tell her what to say. And I raised my hand. I said, isn't that a problem if we outsource all our manufacturing to China and we gut no country has even survived by outsourcing all their manufacturing. And she gave me some bullshit about, we have intellectual property. We'll always be the best country in the world, blah, blah, blah. So now she takes her direction from China, I have no doubt. Maybe she was doing it back then, too, like our other Congress people. Feinstein just announced she's stepping down. Interesting. Yeah, I think there's weird shit going on with our leaders. I think, whether or not they're the same leaders they used to be or they have stand-ins or doubles, I think Feinstein and Pelosi about 3 or 4 years ago got swapped out for two different people. I don't think obviously they were bleeding heart liberals coming from California, both from San Francisco. But I think in reality, it's like two different people. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they were, got into the Epstein world and were under the control of the bad guys. Nobody knows, and I think probably 10 years from now we'll know more about what went on during these crazy decades, really. I mean, you think it's crazy now, you read the news, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening and this is happening, and shooting down alien balloons and all this stuff. All this has happened all the time. We're just hearing about it now. The filters are starting to be dropped, which is very important. And I have been screaming about this for a long time. And, the big thing now is trust. And nobody trusts. We run in an unbacked fiat monetary system, meaning we trust the U.S. government and the Fed to print a certain amount of money. And we believe them when they say, we've done this. And then we got Catherine Austin Fitts saying, according to your books, you've got, $100 trillion more that you printed. And you got Ruta writing in the sand, print money to infinity. I think that's what they're really doing. They've always been printing money to infinity and then telling you, we have a $32 trillion deficit. It's very hard to control. Why not print $32 trillion in the background and don't tell anybody, which they are. But they're not paying off the debt because it maintains the illusion of what's happening. And when that illusion falls down, which I think it will, there'll be no trust or faith in these people who are currently running our world. The IMF, the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the Federal Reserve, any of the central banks, obviously the regular banks, JP Morgan, and even all the smaller banks are going to be taken down because they're fractional reserve as well. And when the big banks go with the 2 quadrillion in derivatives, maybe 3 quadrillion now, it takes down everything, the stock market, the bond market, everything, poof, gone. It's hard to get your head around that, but once you do, it scares you shitless, and you get all your assets in your own possession. That's what I highly recommend, getting your assets in your own possession, including your cryptos. Do I think cryptos are going to get slammed when like Tether goes under and all that? Absolutely. Do I think you'll be able to buy any? No, you won't. When the banks crash, you have what you have. There will be no place to get cryptos anymore. None of the exchanges will be open. It'll be chaos. We won't know the price of cryptos for a few years, most likely. They might orchestrate a smooth transition, but that doesn't help anybody. If they orchestrate a smooth transition, I've been arguing this for a long time, the same people are in charge. Right now, we've been in a smooth transition with cryptos for, 13 years, 14 years? And yet the same people are in charge. They haven't even pulled out the big guns. The big guns will say, Biden announced, okay, because of drug running and money laundering, we're going to make cryptos illegal in the United States of America. And any country we deal with that allows cryptocurrencies, we're not going to trade with them. Okay, can he do that? Probably not. It would have to go through Congress probably, but do you trust Congress? Instantly, every country in the world would kick the United States' ass, but it doesn't help the United States. The people of the United States who have invested in cryptos, the United States, I think, has the largest population of crypto investors. And this is the banks telling their operatives in Congress and in the presidency what to do. When they get really scared, they're going to fight, and then they're going to die and be gone. And that's why you have to have your cryptos in your own possession now. Don't plan on catching the bottom, because it's not going to bounce like that. When the exchanges go down, they're gone. We're going to have to invent new exchanges. No Coinbase, no Kraken, no Binance, no Gemini. It's just like gold and silver. You're not going to be able to buy gold and silver when the system falls apart. Get your assets in your own possession now and just wait. Sit on the sidelines. I hope I've been saying this enough. I've been saying it for 10 years. 13 years now. Maybe 16. 2001, the Road to Ruta documents. Probably a year after that, I've been saying it. Get your assets in your own possession. And a lot more people are starting to understand that. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Again, Steve St. Angelo, I'm ready to debate you on the Road to Ruta theory, on gold in the Grand Canyon, on pretty much anything you want related to my work. But please stop throwing all the tweets around until we sit down and talk about it and let everybody hear, both sides of the story. All right. If you want to join the private Road to Ruta, we are still giving away Veritasium token. I don't know how much longer. It dropped below 30. I got a couple more. It's a 1-year subscription, $2.99 for a year. We give them away with each new subscription or renewal. If you want to renew, we'll just tack on a year to the back end of your current expiration date. That's all I got for you. This is Bix Weir. I think I'll end with a song. I'll talk to you later.
All right, it's time to have a little fun with our friends on the Comex. This song goes out to that big old gigantic naked short out there. You know who you are. It's kind of lonely at the top, ain't it? I thought I heard the people say, pay me my silver now. Tomorrow's another trading day. But pay me my silver now. Watching the Comex prices rise. Pay me my silver now. JP Morgan naked shorts the highs. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. CFTC, you better shut it down. Pay me my silver now. There's people rising up in every town. Pay me my silver now. The Gatta boys are in the know. Pay me my silver now. Tinfoil hats at the silver show. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. Butler nails you every time you try. Pay me my silver now. The BPS shows how much you lie. Pay me my silver now. The game is done when the silver's gone. Pay me my silver now. Comex metal in the warehouse, none. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. The banking boys melt that witch. Pay me my silver now. Deliver those bars and melt that bitch. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. 'Cause now is the time to free our land. Pay me my silver now. Silver in my pocket, paper in the can. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, Pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now. Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.